Hello, welcome. Tonight, we're going to be playing Surreal Estate, which is a supernatural house hunters RPG that you would have seen on the Racial Justice and Equality bundle recently. So yeah, this is Haunted House Hunters, basically. My name is Donna, my pronouns are he, him, and I'm running the game, and I will be the realtor who is up to no good. So let's get a quick intro from our players first, and then we'll jump right in. Let's go left to right on the character keeper.
Hi there, I'm Stephen, he, him, and I am playing Bradley, who, hi there, I'm Brad Jang. You may remember me from from the credits of Hobo Murder Party 5. The return of Hobo Murder Returns, where I was the second assistant director. It was described by the Tribune as far longer than any film needed to be, which I think is a good thing. You always want more of a good thing, right? And I'm just working right now as a producer for Miss Nocturne when she listens to me. We've been working together for a few years now, and I think there's a certain amount of respect there.
All right, I'm Kyle, he, any, and I am playing Chrysanthemum Nocturne, a strange and unusual soul who stares into the deep shadows of the abyss of humanity and beyond. When I can get the network to approve the budget.
Well, thanks for the intros, guys. I think that's not the only budget that will be in doubt today. My name, of course, is Noah Miller. I am your host, and today we'll be taking a look at some splendid properties for our prospective buyer. I mean, prospective buyers. I don't doubt myself; they will buy, but we just don't know which house they will buy. So, why don't we? Why don't I just give you a quick pen picture of the properties that I have in mind today, and you can discuss amongst yourselves which ones we should visit first, and then maybe which one we'll put on the long finger. So yeah, I think the first property that I want to bring you to is this lovely old detached house on the outskirts of town. Really fine neighborhood. I would describe this as a fixer-upper with tons of character. Some of the original pieces are still here, but I think this might really suit you. It's two proper floors and a killer attic. So I think you're excited by that. The second property I think is much more intimate. It's a snug 3-story townhouse in the old quarter of town. Tons of character as well. I think you're always going to be finding nice surprises here. Even after living in the place for a year, I guarantee it. And then the last one I think is, I put this in because I read the spec and I thought maybe something special like this is really what we have in mind. It's a cozy dormer bungalow in this perfect, pristine, verdant suburban setting. Really quiet, really lovely. I mean, if I were to move in here and it's on my short list of places to visit permanently, I would not change a thing about this. And I think despite the price, you would not have to spend a penny if you move into this house extra for any kind of renovations. So yeah, I think let's hear some thoughts. What you're looking for here, and then let's scoot over to the first house. What do you think, Miss Nocturne?
I think this first house has good energies. My keen psychic senses are already detecting the hauntings and tortured souls that once lived here. The second house, it's a little more cramped than I'd prefer, but it has some spirits there as well. But the third one, oh, the spirits hate the third one. No, they don't like it. It's too bright. It's too cheery.
And am I to understand, Miss Nocturne, that you're looking for someplace to shoot a show, not just to live?
Yes, I must make my way through this too crass and mundane world by displaying my psychic arts for the masses.
Okay, okay. And how about you, Bradley? What do you think of these three fine properties?
Well, I mean, the studio isn't buying me a house. I'm just going to shoot there, of course. I mean, preferably we would want to get something cheap, something that can be made up well to look right on camera, but within a certain budget, of course.
So, I mean, I'm kind of happy with what seems like the choice here, because that means I can keep property 3 to myself for the future. Am I reading the between the lines right here?
Well, I'm certain with enough, reconsecrations, we could make the third party work, or the third location work, if the studio would just pay for the necessary refurbishments.
They did already reject your purchase of authentic Victorian furniture, a chrysanthemum. So
The spirits love antiques.
I mean yes, but I mean we actually have art departments for putting together props like that.
Fine.
Well, maybe then let's not write off our perfect little bungalow right now. Maybe we can come to it, if the mood strikes us. But in between or outskirts of town, detached house and the townhouse, which one do you feel like visiting first? I mean, are the spirits talking to you, Miss Nocturne?
The spirits love this detached house. They say it resonates most strongly on the etheric plane.
I mean, a detached house would be useful for setting up a films recording trailers, things like that. Just as long as we don't go overboard with the budget is all.
Well, okay. Let's head over there and take a quick look at it. So yeah, I guess there's probably a quick commercial break for this, or at least some kind of a segue, some kind of usual piece that moves us to a new location, right? And yeah, you have this, pretty large 2-story with an ample attic, out in its own kind of plot of land in on the outskirts of town. I think most of the other houses in the neighborhood are fairly well kept, but obviously a little bit of an older population out here. The price is not as expensive as you think it should be, right? It's given how spacious it is and how much kind of garden or land space that it has, for sure. But obviously looking at it now, it's a little rundown. There's There's ivy going up the walls. There's, the place is a bit dirty, right? It's going to take a bit of work to regain its old splendor. So yeah, I guess let's get Bradley's and Chrysanthemum's initial thoughts. What do you think of the location, the budget? What do you think you need to make this work?
I mean, of course, the problem of filming in older houses like these is that they often don't have the adequate electrical system to maintain the running of a fully operational set of recording equipment and lighting, all that sort of thing. I mean, people think that reality television is artless, that it doesn't require any talent, but not naming names, mom and dad. It does require a fair amount of resources, and often these older houses can't provide that.
Chrysanthemum is like taking out her smartphone and snapping pics and like, this house would look great on Instagram. I mean, with the spirits. These directors, they don't know what they need. They're still thinking on the old model, but I know what the spirits in the market want. They want this spooky aura. This is what'll get us the popularity on Netflix.
So yeah, let's take a look inside, and I think there's probably even though obviously there's been people moving through this doorway, there's still some cobwebs that we have to brush through to get into the house proper. The door creaks an alarming amount as you push through it. So yeah, let's. So what we do now is each of us in turn will introduce a room, and then we'll continue around the table to introduce a feature of that room. So we don't have to say we start with the hallway and then we move through. We can just go anywhere we want first. So let's and we can explain that however we want. So let's start with our. Let's start with you, Stephen. What room does Bradley pick out as being of interest first?
Oh, I think that like we get the camera on and like, am I just naming the room? Because I remember the way the structure works, and then we go around and pick features.
Yeah.
So am I just naming the room, or do I give a description of it as well?
Yeah. So I guess you name the room obviously, but then you can give a kind of a vague introduction to the room, in terms of size, general appearance, general vibe, and maybe a feature of your own as well to start the ball rolling.
Yeah, I think that we see like Brad like tug on one of those pull string doors to the attic, and just the ladder just comes shuddering down, and he jumps back a bit. And he's like, "Oh, that you see there is something we're gonna have to fix to avoid liability lawsuits in the future, because there are as has been described to me, a dangerous number of deaths and injuries on shoots with Chrysanthemum. But yes, this attic, I mean, it has a certain, I suppose, yeah, I could see us setting up a good seance shoot up here. It has a certain kind of framing that might hold up well under the camera.
And I can introduce a feature?
Yeah.
So Chrysanthemum like walks around a bit, inspects the place, cocks an ear. Do you hear that? I think you can just faintly make out the sound of like distant screaming. Is that Is that the wind? That puts you in a good headspace. I like this.
Well,
This
yeah, I mean, we could be adding that in post. Remember, Chris. I mean, that is my job, right? You remember?
Chrysanthemum Nocturne, and they can tell when it's in post. It has to be in the original to set the aura correctly.
They can't tell when it's in post. I say aside to the camera.
So yeah, I think you see Noah snickering to himself as one of the production staff is nearly decapitated by this cascading you know stairs that comes out of the attic. This lever is obviously a bit too loose. Well, I think up here you're going to find a lot of storage space. Like you said, you need all the gear, but I think what you're looking through in this window, and I think you see, you kind of see some of the glass. One of the glass panes here is like shattered, or at least you can see like a faint crack running through it. This is really the original glass. It gets a little bit frosty here in the winter, but I think there's a certain aura here, isn't there? I think we're all getting shivers here, even though I've been assured by my people that nothing happened here untoward. It's just it has that kind of vibe, and
Usually when real estate agents need to assure me that nothing untoward has happened here, something untoward has happened here. I mean, this is like legally you are required to disclose to us if anything untoward has happened here.
I mean, untoward is really a broad term. I mean, I have no records of any murder or kidnapping or torture occurring here.
Okay,
no
but again, why did you feel the need to specifically name those three things? I'm a little bit confused here because I did not say any of those three things.
Well, I mean, by untoward, I mean I didn't think you were talking about lost children's toys. Is that what you meant? Or
I mean, I was maybe going to just ask about like black mold, but now that you brought up murder, torture, and a child, I'm a little bit concerned. I feel like we're reaching a conflict here.
Sure. So I guess are we saying that you want him to spill the beans, right? On
Yeah.
what he knows. Okay, cool. So yeah, so now we have to reach into our card of Zener symbols. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna start picking a card. I don't.
Should I draw two or
No, so I guess it's a conflict between the two of us, right?
okay?
You can get involved, of course, at some point.
And so the way it works is I draw three and then pick
You can
one.
draw any. So basically, what you would do in person is you would have your 5 cards and you'd pick one. And
Okay, so I should just have all 5 cards in front of me.
Yeah, unless you see one you definitely want, right?
Okay.
So and then we can then draw it. Put it on the tabletop, and it will hide until we click on it. And then I guess what we can do is in the chat, on the count of 3, we're gonna I guess we're gonna type in on the count of 3, hit return to show our guess, right?
Okay, and descending, the values are star, square, squiggle, cross, circle, right?
Yeah. So star in a draw, star trumps square, and so.
Okay.
So I'm ready to. I've typed in my guess. If you have as well.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so on 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we will flip our cards. Okay, so I put out a square and I guessed square. And
I guess cross.
yeah, and you put out wavy lines. So we are neither of us psychic, but by dint of the trumping, my square trumps your wavy lines. Okay, so I guess you don't. So the other important thing to note here is that as we cycle through, um, we leave the cards out so that until the kind of fourth one, we still have a little. We're closing in on each other. The more conflicts we have, which is how you double team up on me so that you'll definitely win that fifth contest, right? That's how I understand them, the rules. Okay, so yeah, I think we see Noah smile to the camera, maybe hiding his face from you. He says, "Well, how about I just leave you here? You can, I assure you that nothing untoward has happened here in the past, and maybe we will just get a feel for the place, have a chat amongst yourselves, and I'll be downstairs." So yeah. So remember, once per house, each of you has an opportunity to have a confessional. So yeah, whenever you feel like it, you can do that. But yeah, he will leave the two of you, and obviously the camera crew, up in the attic alone. We have, this is the first of 3 rooms, right? So it's not like you have to use the confessional now, but that's just an option for you.
I mean, it's just that this house seems like a lot of work to avoid all the inevitable liability lawsuits that are going to come out of this. I mean, like I get that the cracked glass is a look, but someone is going to cut open their wrist on that, and we're going to be the ones that'll have to pay that.
Chrysanthemum's confessional, she says, like, "This is great. The realtor is giving us plausible deniability, which means we can make up any backstory we want. I mean, I could learn the secrets from the spirits that dwell here."
So yeah, I think the cameraman gives you a big thumbs up on that, right? That's the kind of juicy stuff they really like. I guess when you turn back around to Bradley, is what's the reaction on that?
I mean, I think that like as she says this, I think that like who's that over there? I mean, is that's she wasn't with the real estate agent, right? And I think like the camera pans over and there's just like no one standing there. Because I'm just bringing my psychic thing into play. I mean, she's gone now, but she was there, and she was pointing and screaming silently. Neither of you saw that. Neither.
And I think the cameraman gives you a thumbs up, because that stuff is really good.
No, that wasn't for the show. I really, she was there, right?
Brad, don't steal my gimmick.
Okay, yeah. So anyone else want to do anything in the not haunted attic? Okay.
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah, cool. Okay. So yeah, let's move on. And Chrysanthemum, you get to introduce a new room in the property.
I think we head into. Can the building have a study or something like that?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, I think we head into the study, and the walls have like a dozen family portraits, but all of different families, and everyone for some reason is painted as if they're crying blood.
You know, I really I just love this room. It you know, it warms my heart. You know, I think family is the most important thing in life, and here we just have these snapshots of these wonderfully close families. And I don't know what's happening here. It's like there's some kind of problem with the glass. I don't know, but you know, this all comes with, you know, I would have expected these things to be taken away. But you know what I love about this place too is that, you know, you can kind of see, and he kind of like he holds his hands up like he's a director, right? And he is like looking up at the cornices in between the wall and the ceiling, and he's like, look at these designs on these things. These were like out of fashion when this house was built, but obviously they had them made special, and I like it's so intricate. Like if you look at it, you can almost swear that like they're moving. It's just like so. It's almost like fractal designs that I think it's just giving me a headache. I think that's what's happening, you know. But it's just I could spend hours just looking at these cornices. These are so nice.
Chrysanthemum like takes a stealthy next to one of the spooky portraits, and it's like, "Oh, this looks so creepy. Yes, the spirits love it."
What about it? It looks like there's a leak here, maybe that like it seems to be that there's like that something like this of something's leaving this blackish red stain all across the carpet here, and I mean, look, you can see it seems to be soaking through the ceiling from the floor above as well. I mean, there's not like rust in the pipes or something, is there?
I mean, they obviously don't look like footprints, or I mean, it's like almost like someone is climbing or dragging a body. I don't know. They're like, I think it's it might just be leaky,
Okay, I mean,
leaky
well, again,
water.
what is it with these really specific examples here? Because you seem to be taking up a lot of language that I am not using.
Oh, no, I mean, you're right. It's probably just water leakage. You know, there's rusty pipes or something like this. It just makes these strange. I think I know what's happening. I was staring too much at these cornices, and you know, my eyes are a bit gone, right? And I think, you know, you kind of you're looking at the pictures, and there's a reflection of Noah in them, and you can kind of see his eyes in the reflection, and like through his eyes you like see the same figure that Bradley saw in the attic, right? The some young woman, some dead ghost, you know, wandering just across, and you can kind of see through his empty eyes in the reflection of the glass pictures.
Yeah, and I grab Chrysanthemum and pull her off for a second. Okay, Chrysanthemum, are you getting sort of psycho serial killer vibe from Noah? And I kind of give a big smile and a wave back to you.
You know, I wasn't gonna say anything, but absolutely. Do you think we could get him to do a guest spot on our show?
I think we'll have to take that up with with the- with the studio. I'm a little bit worried that like we should make certain we don't leave our camera crew behind around him.
Ooh, but if like something did happen, think of the buzz it would build.
I mean, okay, Chrysanthemum. I mean, you do still need to be alive to take advantage of that buzz. Look, I'm just saying. Maybe we should, uh, you know, keep an eye on him. Maybe, you know, just be on the safe side. I mean,
Fine.
I know we did go with the as agent that gave us the lowest quote, but I'm beginning to think that might have been a bad idea.
You know what? No. I like him. He's playing into the image. We can probably use some of this footage for our own show. I think we should, you know, like go along 110% with everything he says.
Yep, this is the conflict.
So is this a conflict between the two of you about
Yeah.
whether Noah gets on? Yeah, okay. So yeah, I guess as before, it's exactly the same conflict as you had with me earlier. You know, draw a card and then put it on the play area unshown, and then when you're both ready, we can let us know, and then you can put in your guesses on the count of 3 into the chat.
All right, I'm ready.
Sorry, I'm just forgetting the order. Let me double check that again.
Yeah, so it's star trumps square, trumps wavy lines, trumps plus, trumps circle.
Okay. Okay, on 3, 2, 1, 0. I played my wavy lines already, though.
Oh,
You're a terrible psychic.
well, I am a fake.
Yeah. But you do win this conflict.
Star trumps cross. Okay, cool. So I mean, what does this conflict? Is this something that we see a lot on your show, or is it something that your camera crew would be, you know, well used to, or what's the deal?
I think that we are like, I think that definitely there's this like whispered bickering going on right in front of the camera that is clearly like all being recorded as part of this footage, and you're fine. We'll keep him on. We'll follow him along, and I have 100% faith in you and your powers, Chrysanthemum. And then we flash to the confessional. Do I have 100% faith in Chrysanthemum's powers? Well, yes and no. I mean, she did always no. Has for a long time always gotten me exactly what I want every morning. And apparently what I want every morning for the past 2 years is a banana and guarana smoothie. And, you know, after the first year, I started to like it. So, yeah, I trust her to make the right prediction sometimes, but we're definitely in a murder house.
I mean, sometimes you just have to change the future into what you foresaw, right? That's That's fair. That's fair. So yeah. Do we have all of our features on this room, or do we? Yeah, we do. Yeah. Okay.
And then I think like just below one of the pictures, there is like a framed newspaper clipping with the exact same photo that says like family killed and murder suicide.
Nice. Okay. So the third room is mine to introduce. I think Noah leads you into the back of the house, and it's like we're not quite sure where the kitchen is because it's not at the back of the house. This is like a big, almost like a ballroom. There's a grand piano in the corner, but the rest of the place is really ill kept. Right? There's maybe there's like a pieces of wood or plaster collapsed down from the ceiling from some disrepair. But the piano is in pristine condition. So yeah, that's our third room. There's no attic in Cluedo, is there? But we have a study in the ballroom, so we're nearly there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's go around for some new features.
Yeah, and how did you describe the ballroom?
So pretty decrepit, so fallen plaster on the floors. So yeah, really, I don't know what's happened here, but it'll probably need a bit of renovation at least. But the
Yeah,
piano is in the
I
corner
think
and
it.
pristine.
Yeah, I think it has been like it looks like someone has like just abandoned.
Sorry about that. Zoom kicked me out. Sorry, we were just describing. You just started describing the ballroom, Stephen.
Oh well, yeah, it looks like somebody has been renovating. I think. Like, look, you can see where all the drywall has been pried away here. And does it look like something has been chewing through the electricals?
I mean, that would be unusual, but maybe there's rats. Who knows what's inside the
I
walls
mean,
of an old
if
house
there's
like this.
rats, we're gonna need to fumigate this place, chrysanthemum. We can't just it's gonna take a work crew at least I think a week of work here to get to do pest control, get this drywall and electricals back sorted out. I mean. I'm just saying it seems like there's a lot of extra cost here beyond the cost of buying this place.
But it has such a nice yard. I could plant some tomatoes, maybe some mint. It'd be great. The spirits say it's imperative I have a garden.
Well, I mean, you have plenty of space out there. I mean, just look through those magnificent bay windows. I mean, it's the ground is rough. Maybe something was planted out there once, but now there's just like a thicket of strangely misshapen trees. I mean, I'm sure you can take care of those.
Yeah, that's fine. And And okay, yes, I did just see an enormous rat run inside the walls, but I mean, a rat infestation can't be that hard to deal with. Come on, Brad.
I mean, I'm sure that's what they said before the Black Plague. I'm sure. You can quote me on that. Look, I'm just trying to think about the about what the studio is going to say if we come to them having spent the money on this house and then asking for more to fix it up and make it safe for filming.
You got a point there. I suppose that the rats are perhaps a little too much realism.
I mean, maybe it's not rats. Maybe it's something else. I mean, I don't know how you can tell how recent this electrical damage is, but I mean, if it was in really bad shape, I'm sure there would have been a fire already.
Noah's got a point. I mean, it hasn't burned down yet. I mean, it's been around for decades.
Pointing out the risk of fire is not exactly my selling point for the house for me.
I mean, okay, you're driving a hard bargain. You're obviously trying to push the price down, Brad. But there's a certain level below which the sellers won't go. But drive a hard bargain. That's professional of you. You got to look after the bottom line, right?
I mean, I do. I just think that we should, perhaps not immediately buy the first decrepit, rundown mansion that we see from the sky, Chrysanthemum.
All right. I suppose we should at least see another place. Maybe it'll have enough mood, the right kind of mood, the right aura,
Well, okay. I mean, that's fair enough, But why don't you stay here? Maybe go into another room, see what things strike you. I'll leave you alone. Obviously, we're going to have to take a ride into the city to look at the second property. So let's not be hasty. So this is the time I will describe the complication. And I think, if you're wandering around the house, you see Noah in the back garden, kind of looking at some of the trees and kind of maybe examining some of the work out there that might need to be done. But, behind you, back in the ballroom, you can hear, the tinkling of the piano, right? Those, and in
I like the idea that the camera follows you out, like one of the cameras does, and we just see you raising your hand in some dark ritual, and then the camera falls and shorts out.
Yeah.
And then we flip back inside.
Yeah.
What were you describing? Sorry.
So something is playing the piano, and I think obviously the camera isn't going to catch this, but it's our ghost from the other rooms who is playing the piano, in some macabre fashion, or at least the tones that they're getting out of the piano are definitely putting the hairs on the back of your neck on edge, right? So in order to solve the complication, one of you must engage in a conflict against the realtor. So if it's unclear who this should be, decide who is the best fictional position.
Oh, she's back again, and she's playing the piano now. I mean, is this one of yours, Chrysanthemum? Is this one of your friends?
Brad, I am sick of you trying to hone in on my bit. I'm the psychic here, and I definitively say that this place is not haunted. And I guess I'm gonna try to like, I don't know, cause a little minor sandstorm to like blow the ghosts away or something.
Okay, yeah. So is it? So this is Chrysanthemum not knowing it and maybe just doing it, reflexively, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's choose our cards. Okay, I've chosen my card.
Sorry, 1 second. Okay.
And so we'll type our guess in the chat.
All right.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1. And I do have wavy lines, so you are psychic. So yeah, you are dispersing with the complication, or at least with my ability to conjure it up, right? So why don't you describe what that looks like?
So I think you're in the backyard doing your dark ritual without me noticing, and as I'm like, getting angry with Brad, like the dust and the dirt starts to like rise up and swirl, and you end up like getting a mouthful of dirt or something, which just gets you like hacking and coughing and interrupting your flow.
You see, asthma risk here as well. I hope none of that's asbestos.
Okay, cool, yeah. And that just, I guess, shorts out the ritual, and my control over the ghost is broken, right? There will be some small mark of my power still existing in the home, though, even though you beat it back. What is that?
I think that anytime dinner is, or unless you want to answer Chrysanthemum,
You can go.
I think perhaps anytime dinner is served in the house, the piano will begin to play on its own.
Okay, cool, yeah. So you have like maybe a peaceful ghost who just likes to play the piano. Yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, I think, the camera gets Noah coming back in the back door, and you see him kind of spitting dirt out of his mouth, maybe going to the sink in the kitchen to get some water, and I think we see like dirty water come out, but he drinks it anyway to to get the fresh dirt out of his mouth. Yeah, so I guess we get a scene of the two of you standing outside the house with a quick what did we think of that, and what would we change if we were to move in here, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, what's the conversation like between Chrysanthemum and Brad?
I mean, look, Chrysanthemum, if we were able to negotiate him down to the right price, enough that we could maybe take care of some of these safety and rat infestation issues. This might be a place we could go with. I'm just concerned that it's going to push us over budget for the studio if we just go all in on the price he's asking for.
I don't love the rats either. So, yeah, maybe the price should come down a bit. But when you get down to it, this is probably the best like mood we're gonna get for the value. Mood per price ratio is the best we're gonna get.
I hear that. I just I want to make certain that we explore all our options here before we, like I said, commit to a decrepit murder house.
Well, you're the producer. Let's at least check it out. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I think we'll be back after these important messages, right? That's the shtick as we move to the second house. How about we take a break? How does 10 past, 10 after sound to you? Okay, cool. We'll see you then.
See you then.
Welcome back. So yeah, after a challenging first property, our pair of buyers seem to have agreed to disagree on exactly how spooky they want their house to be. But I think all of that is just a great dynamic to have on the show. So let's stop by. I think we are a world apart from our last property. We are smack bang in the middle of the old quarter in the city, and here, tucked away at the end of an old alleyway, we have this wonderful 3-story, 3.5-story townhouse, quite narrow, really stylish, I think. And inside, I think you'll find, a veritable labyrinth of stairwells and cubby holes, very old-fashioned feel, inside and out. And maybe that's fine, but maybe you think you want to make things a little bit more modern. I don't know. Let's see how our buyers feel looking at it from outside. Well, what do you two think? You like the location? It's not too expensive, I think. It's a little bit off the beaten track. It's not in a fashionable part of the city. But do you think you can make it work? What do you think, Chrysanthemum?
It's nice, but I'm not sure that the aura is right. The spirits haven't quite made up their mind yet.
I mean, I think that oh, go ahead.
No. Well, yeah, sometimes they do keep their counsel, don't they? Don't come calling when you beckon them, huh? What do you think, Brad?
Oh well, yes. I mean, it's certainly more conveniently located. We would have to pay any production crew less in commute compensation to get out here, and of course, being located in the city, it should be much more it should be much easier to wire up any electricals we need for shoots. I think this place has a lot of potential.
Let's go inside and find out. So yeah, I think let's go in the same order and let's get Chrysanthemum to introduce the first room.
All right. I think the first room is a big fancy kitchen. Like whatever money that the last owner put into this house, like all went into the kitchen. It's new appliances, new fixtures. It's all great. And Chrysanthemum is loving it, just running around like checking the water pressure and like, oh, this oven, it's got all these new features. This is amazing.
Yeah, but Chris, we don't really do, for these types of shows, we don't do a lot of filming in the kitchen. So should this really be the first place we're looking?
We could have a foodie ghost. Those exist.
I guess sure that we could cross over with the Food Network, I guess, and maybe have on like someone like Padme Lakshmi. She'll do anything really.
We could get Padme? Oh, I love her work.
I bet you said we're going in the same order. So does that mean that you are introducing the first feature, Noah?
No, I think you can
Okay.
introduce the next feature, yeah, and then we'll go around.
I think that like as we're like going, as we're like looking around the place, I just kind of like take hang on, shouldn't these cupboards be uh a bit a bit deeper, and as I kind of like press on the back, I think that like the like the cupboard, the back of the cupboard swings out, and I think like how far do I want to take this? No, I'll leave it. I'll leave it a little bit open right now. I think that like that there's some it kind of opens out, and there's this kind of small crawl space that that like leads into this tangle of like of of like wood frame and wiring and what's the word,
Plumbing?
I was thinking of how you keep in and out. Like asbestos is an outlawed version of it. Whatever.
Insulation?
Yes, insulation. Like it's like this hidden crawl space in the cupboards. Where exactly does this lead?
Well, the third architect I brought in to do a full survey said, these crawl spaces lead all over the house, and I think there is they follow the stairwell up, the stairwells up, I should say, because this place is quite the labyrinth. Yeah, all over the house. You can pretty much get anywhere you want.
I mean, I guess for the shows we could hide some camera crew back here, right? And I kind of look over at the cameraman, who I assume is like doing like a no shaking with the camera.
He might stick his camera in there, but no way is he going in there.
The spirits say I should never go into that crawl space or any small space. No small spaces.
Well, I think it's a fun feature, and I think these old houses could get quite cold. So I think insulation, at the very least, is worth investing in. And I know you mentioned the kitchen. It's so new. I think actually these kitchen worktops came from one of those famous colleges in Paris for chefs. I mean, like this coverage is pristine. I mean, some of the knives here are super. I mean, I could not believe that someone would let these go, but I mean, look at those. They are, I mean, you could cut yourself just looking at them. They're that sharp. I hope that's not too macabre for you, Brad. I know, earlier this morning, the vibes seem to be a little bit off, but these are great knives all the way from the culinary capital of the world. So I don't think we can get upset about this.
I mean, I'm just a little bit confused about like why is the owner just leaving all of their I could see them not taking, the stove or things like that, but why are they not taking the knives with them?
I mean, Brad, what can I say? Sometimes people want to sell quick and they don't care about the little things. I would say don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Exactly. A good kitchen knife, it's worth its weight in gold.
Uh, I mean, maybe if it's made of gold, but uh, I, sure. Let's not look a gift horse in the mouth. I guess. Sure.
And I think as the house looks a little bit old fashioned, I mean, this is the heart of the house. The kitchen, and this is modern. This is modern, high tech. I think I would spend a lot of time here if this were my house. Less time in the crawl spaces, obviously, but you just don't put anything back deep in the cupboards, right?
Easy
I
enough.
want to. I just want to put. I do just want to say that uh, no instead says something like only put the things you never want to see again back deep in the cupboards.
Yeah. Okay. Definitely. Um, you know, if you want a midnight raid on the kitchen, and you don't want Chrysanthemum to know about it. You just crawl down here without a trace. And you want to add a final feature, Kyle?
Let's see. Final feature. I already did the one for the kitchen. Do I add two this time or?
Yeah. So like when you
Oh,
introduce us,
right. Sorry.
you have an option, but then we come back around to you for the third one.
Okay. Third feature. I think I'm opening up the pantry, and there is a plaque on the floor that says, "On this spot was arrested Tom Thompson, who has the tri-state record for most murders."
Wow, I didn't even know that was there. I mean, wow. I think if you want to, I think you could make this into a tourist attraction if you were willing to do the research. Or hell, just tell people whatever they want to hear. Arrested here. I mean, I don't know what his connection was with the house. I mean, wow, that's really interesting.
I think that I take my confessional with the audience. So the studio let me know that we shouldn't let Chrysanthemum know about any actual murders that have taken place on a property. In fact, better that she doesn't know anything about the property at all. In fact, you see, there was this incident where she accused an elderly widow's son of murdering her. I mean, to make a long story short, she was just sleeping, but the son did press charges when we cut that last bit out. Um, uh,
Cut to my confessional. She absolutely looked dead. Okay, the spirits thought she looked dead.
Making good use of these confessionals.
I was assured she was dead at the time by these spirits. That's going to hold up in any court of law, surely, or there's no justice in the world. Okay. Yeah. So do we head to the next room? Okay. So yeah, Kyle, how about Chrysanthemum introduce a room?
Chrysanthemum just introduced
Oh,
them.
sorry.
Master.
Yeah, Brad, you or me maybe. Oh, I go.
Yeah, why don't you go?
Yeah. So I think yeah, I think we want um, a bedroom. I think it's the main bedroom. Unlike a lot of the rooms that we see here, um, there is it takes up the full width of the house, and I think on the way to it, like it's not there's not a landing on every floor. There's a landing on every half floor, so you go to the front or the back of the house. So it's a little bit confusing to know exactly where you are unless you keep your wits about you. But the bedroom, was dominated by this four poster bed, really extravagant bed linen, canopy, all of that kind of stuff. There's a like an ensuite bathroom. It looks really really spectacular. Though I think probably what you'll notice is the view. There's a little balcony that you can walk out. It's really just enough for a chair and maybe a small coffee table or something like that. But there's like a tape or a warning sign across it, to say that the balcony is a little bit unstable. And Noah points this out. Don't step out there. I think we need to get in a work team to do this. I think this is the only thing that really needs to be looked at in the house for repair work. So please make sure you don't step out there, or else we'll be getting our lawsuits in early.
Is there a? Sorry, go ahead.
You can go.
Is there a story with this? I mean, I'm sure that the current owner can't have lived here with it in that state.
The way I understand it is, there's an unfortunate accident here a few years back, and I think the reason the house is up on the market. So yeah, it just hasn't been repaired yet. So I think whoever buys it will have to do it, or we'll have to come up with some arrangement. But yeah, it's I guess rotten wood maybe on this little balcony. I think just a broken slat, and hey presto, you're on your way to the hospital or the morgue. I'm not sure of the details.
That's a detail. Yeah. Does Chrysanthemum have any thoughts?
This is the patio here, the place with the most sunlight, and I don't think there's enough space to get a proper garden in here. Even a window garden would be a bit of a stretch to fit in.
Well, I mean, true, but we don't want to be spending. The studio doesn't want to be spending too much on upkeep for this place anyway. I mean, when we're not actively doing shoots, it is just going to be you here, and I kind of like turn away from Chrysanthemum to the camera. I've seen her apartment. Everything there is dead.
Maybe instead of a window box, we could have a stone garden. Something that can't possibly be killed. I mean, some people just aren't blessed with the green finger. What can we say?
And I think, yeah, Chrysanthemum's going to wander over by the window and just look at it. And, oh, well, that's neat. There's a family of crows in the backyard. Oh, so there's maybe 24 of them, and they're all staring in here. Hello, crows.
I mean, corvids are remarkable creatures, right, Chrysanthemum? I mean, I just love them. They gather at a moment's notice with little to no warning, and they're silent until they're not. And I just love them. They are magnificent and intelligent creatures. I mean, you can see them looking at you, and you can almost see what they're thinking if you have the mind to it. I just love the way they think. I'm not going to mention the M word because then Brad will get upset with me. But, a group of crows is certainly a blessing to a house.
They are trending on Instagram.
Long may it continue.
Yeah, and I think that Brad wanders over. I think that there is like a wall that has all these rather gruesome like Renaissance Enlightenment era paintings, except they're really like there's some of the really dark subject matter paintings like who was it Creon was king of the Titans eating Zeus? Like paintings like that.
Mm-hmm.
Kronos,
Another one
maybe?
you're thinking of.
Kronos, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Saturn devouring his son. That's
yes.
the painting.
Yeah, that's kind of very, very strange niche art. So is this like a paintings on the wall, or is it like a collection of folios, or?
It's like paintings on the wall, and it's like a lot of these look very expensive. Like the owner isn't taking any of them with them?
No. In fact, I just took a call while we were on the way upstairs, and the owner sadly died in that fall from the balcony, and that's why he has left all of the items of the house, all of the accoutrement to the new owner, which I think he wants to keep or he wanted to keep the collection together. So yeah,
nice kitchen,
interesting story.
Nice kitchen and spooky paintings. The spirits are starting to come around on this place.
I mean, it's just that there's no like next of kin that might want some of these things.
No next of kin who would want things like this. That is correct.
Stop practicing dentistry on gift horses, Brad.
It just does seem a little bit strange that there seems to be this. I mean, isn't it a little bit strange to you that there's this mysterious history of murder and accidents at each of the houses we've been visiting?
Sorry, Brad, wasn't that in the brief you sent me? You wanted something evocative for Miss Nocturne's show?
I mean, okay. I suppose, but I also would have thought I'd heard of something about some of this at some point. This all seems very new to me, but right, true. That's fair.
Well, I mean, the realtor's code is is sometimes very secretive. We don't like to let people into our real estate secrets.
And let's face it, Brad, for our budget, we're gonna get a murder house. That's
Okay, fair. Yeah, I suppose. And I think are we done in this room, or did we want to continue?
I think that there's enough jam packed into this room, I think, to
Yeah.
so yeah, let's go on to our third room, I think.
Yeah, I think the third room is a cellar that runs underneath the house. Um, it's larger than it should be, like almost that it's running over underneath the other houses next door to it. Um, and I think that there's this large boiler room furnace at the far end that is constantly emitting this like dark groaning sound, and Brad comes up, oh, this is gonna cause problems at night, cause problems with sleep, isn't it? It's gonna be echoing all through the house, and we're gonna need somebody to look at that. And I give it a knock, and it lets out it causes almost this bestial roar coming from it. I'm gonna jump back up, you know, I guess usual for old houses like this.
I think you're probably right, Brad. I mean, I mean, I think there's no. I think you can put in your first feature, but I think the light from your torches is really not illuminating the place like you think. Maybe there's arched ceilings or something, and everything is pretty dark down here except for the baleful glare of this boiler or this furnace.
ugh, a furnace. What if it gets cold? I don't know if we want to rely on such an old furnace. I mean, the cold's bad for the film, right, Brad? Right?
I haven't heard that before.
In fact, I feel it's actually freezing over here.
I think that we have a little mini confessional where it's just Brad going, "Is it? You tell me if it was, right? Is it?" And then we just go back.
It's freezing over here, and I'm like breathing out, and like my breath is actually fogging up. And I think the feature I'm adding is very cold spots.
Yeah, I think it takes a while to get this furnace up and running, and it hasn't really. I mean, obviously we got it running for the showing today, but it takes a while to run through the house, and I think you got to keep feeding it with whatever it needs to be fed, whatever burns. Really, I think you just shove in it, and it'll do the job. But down here, look at the cobbles on the floor and these arches. I mean, this hasn't been touched since the house was built. It's this is really spectacular stuff, and I think we see in the darkness, as much as the camera can pick up, we see Noah kneel down and run his hands over the cobblestones, and we see the light catch his hands, and obviously the fire from the furnace is making it look a little bit red. Whatever he's touched off the ground is there's a bit of moisture down here, but I'm sure once the furnace gets up and running, it'll all be swept away.
Well, maybe the cold is just something you have to put up with to get this old-timey, authentic aesthetic.
I mean, I suppose we do need some place to store any equipment when it's not in use. The extra space down here would certainly be of help. Uh,
And given the size of it, I mean, the stairs that lead down here are, probably the widest in the whole house, to be honest, and I mean, they seem very sturdy, so long as we clear up all of this moisture, no one, we don't want any accidents from people coming down here in the dark, Yeah. We're done with the final room in the house. So yeah, complication seems about right. Um, I think, we can see as we kind of walk out of the cellar, Noah is like tracing a hand along the wall, and we can kind of see faint light coming up from these glyphs that he is inscribing on the wall in blood, and evoking whatever curse is on these stairs to claim whoever comes down here next. So who is going to bring their conflict forth to fight this curse?
Would you want to do this one?
yeah, sure. I think that Brad kind of you know what? Let me try to get a few shots here from up at the top of the stairs before heading out. I think that like you would look really good, framed there to here at the bottom, Chrysanthemum. All right.
Absolutely.
Kind of, stare looking mystical as you do. I'll just be right up here. And I think as like I'm walking up, I assume that like the stairs like maybe splinter apart or something under my feet, and we'll see how this goes.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. A direct assault, I guess, is, or maybe a hint of future assaults is what's going on. Okay, so let's grab our card. You ready?
Sure.
Okay, and ready with our guesses in 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Okay, so you win this.
Okay, so put a cross out and you put a star, as I guessed. Haha. So I don't think
I'm fine with Brad getting killed off.
Well, I'm not sure we want to kill you off.
Brad gets like dragged under the stairs, or this camera guy can maybe. Maybe we kill off the camera guy.
Well, I have an idea, but let's see how it goes. I think the stairs starts to give way, and Brad has this image, right, of him falling to his doom, and I think he has a flash forward to seeing his ghost right down at the bottom of the stairs, and then Noah reaches out a hand and grabs him. And there's like a second, right, where he is holding him in the act of falling, but pulls him back very deliberately, as if to say, I still could have left you fall, although that's obviously just Brad's imagination. and pats you down and says, "You got to watch those stairs, Brad.
Yeah, I guess that's true. If we do buy this house, it looks like it's shaping up to be almost as big of a hassle for renovation as the other place.
Well, I think you just have to be careful. You have to follow some advice from Noah next time. I think you'll have to bring me in as a consultant, maybe. You don't want to. I think Miss Nocturne is maybe not quite the psychic that you could be. So maybe let's have a confab about it later on, and I would love to set you straight on what you can really do with yourself.
Oh, sure. Sure. I'd love that. Sure, yeah. And we just kind of cut away. So I'm pretty certain that Noah's into me.
Camera pans over, and Chrysanthemum is giving a death glare to Noah. Cut to confessional. No one poaches my producer.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I think now we can see the two of you come out of the house, and I don't know, maybe there's a cut scene to you in a local cafe or back at your production office or whatever, talking about which house you're going to go for. So yeah, this is Chrysanthemum and Brad have seen both houses. I mean, the third one I think has gotten gazumped under our noses, and they weren't really interested in that cottage anyway, right? So yeah, let's get our cameras in with them and see what they're talking about. See what matters come up. I think there was a bit of tension on both houses there. So yeah, let's find out what they really think. Away from my careful attention.
All right, Brad, you're the one with the budget. What do you think?
Oh, well, after talking it over with Noah a bit, I do see how we could turn the 3.5 story one around. I think that has the cellar. I mean, sure, we would have to make certain that folks are careful with the stairs, but I mean I mean, we'll be working it all out in some meetings later on. Don't worry.
I'm not sure it's a good use of your time to have all those meetings alone with Brad. I think we should just go with the first house. We don't need meetings for that one. We can just go with that. Take that as is.
I mean, are you certain? You seemed really in love with the kitchen over at the other place, Chris.
Okay, the kitchen's great, sure, but I mean, it's got those spooky crawl spaces and people making eyes at my producer, trying to lure them away to some other show.
There was no other show, Chris.
Sure.
I think this is a conflict here.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so this is for all the marbles, I guess. See who gets to choose the house.
Let me just remind myself here. All right, I'm ready.
Ready?
Guess. Okay.
Go. Oh, you both guessed right, but squiggly line trumps circle.
So yeah, the two psychics are at it with their psychic guesswork. So yeah, a squiggly lines trumps circle indeed. So, how do you win this argument, or what kind of trump cards from the production company do you pull?
Uh, I think I think I just go on and on about the first one's mood and the paintings and how the spirits love the place, and it's the ivy. Spirits love ivy, and just keep on going like that until I wear you down eventually.
All right, fine. We'll go with your pick. I'm certain I can sell. I'm certain I can sell that budget to the studio. I just hope the rats don't eat your face, Chris. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, yeah. So, there's a cut, and then there's maybe some. Um,
Wait, do you think if the rats do eat your face, we could sell you as like a masked psychic? Because that might be a shtick right there.
Ooh, haven't heard of that gimmick before. Maybe I could make that work.
it's very old school, right? uh, so yeah, I think that this kind of bizarre discussion is taking place in the little uh, uh, screen as the credits start rolling, and then we kind of come back 6 months later, right? The buyers overcame the realtor's complication of the chosen house, which is the white outskirts haunted attic place with the piano, right? The house was chosen after a conflict and not unanimously. So, why don't you both describe how your relationship has soured as a result of the disagreement, or how you've grown closer together in spite of your differences? What difficulties does the house cause you, and how have you adapted?
I think that that we have totally gone with this fictional, like the rats have eaten your face, you are now a mass psychic thing.
Yes, that sounds good.
And I think that as we're doing preparing the filming, like we hear Brad's voice going off camera. All right, on three, 1, 2, 3, and like the piano starts playing in the background by itself. Like I think that we have gotten this ghost haunting the piano to work with us.
Nice. And I think I do a little confessional of, okay, so things were rough with the rats at first, but with how they ate my face. But then I just understood I had to give them offerings. Now I just give them cheese and some peanut butter and children, and they leave me alone now.
Okay. Yeah, so I think so. As the realtor, um, how does the small mark you left in the house change or evolve over time? You just answer that, I think, really
I
well.
I still find it a bit strange that that like nobody came to the to the birthday party I was throwing for Connie in the staff room last week, and we just kind of flip over to that where it's just this like rain girl sitting in with and me sitting with birthday hats on birthday hats on her head with a cake. But I mean, the two of us have been having a lot of nice chats recently, and she's actually really into bird watching.
um, so I think we get like a fuzzy, staticky confessional with Noah, right? To say, I think the problem here is obviously I left an object of beauty connected to the previous owner in the house, and that just opens up a person's good side. And I think I'm never going to make that mistake again, even though I thought it was, a beautiful sense of poetry. But there are ways and means. And he turns around and walks. He's obviously like shooting this in the backyard with the trees, the strange trees in the garden. And we hear a caw from a crow on one of those trees. Just one. So not a murder yet. And we close up. Okay, yeah, nice. I'll stop recording now, and then we can do a quick debrief. So yeah, thanks very much for playing.